Welcome back, everybody. Episode 5, Roads Less Taken. I'm Anthony Lapia.
I'm Don Valentis.
And we are here today with Brandon Murphy.
Yes, sir. Brandon the Muffin Man Murphy. Holla at your boy. What's up?
He doesn't need an introduction.
He doesn't even need an introduction. Brandon came ready to play today. So, little known fact, this is a very special episode for me personally. So, I know Brandon from years ago. We met, I think, in 2011. 2012. I used to coach high school wrestling, and Brandon was one of my star pupils who's now since wildly outgrown me. And he has now transitioned into a career in mixed martial arts, which he is pursuing the dream to go pro. Man, I love that, Brandon. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure. Honestly, I'm excited. And the history that we have, bruh, y'all helped me out. Y'all helped me start. And it's just like moving forward. I don't know what to say, man. It's just exciting, you know? Like the transition from wrestling till now, seeing you here, doing your thing, I'm happy, but shit, this fight life is me.
Yeah, Don taught me this lesson. One of the number one lessons that comes from this is if you're going to know someone tough enough to become a pro fighter, get them early. Beat them up a little bit when they're underage, right? And then let them work their way to adulthood, and then you always own the bragging rights because you retire.
He ain't never
get old.
He ain't never did it.
My recommendation was just to have you guys fight. That was the whole show today.
I didn't stretch properly today for any of that.
No stretching.
I need to stretch. Yeah. I meditate.
We are old. You gotta.
We're gonna let. Yeah. He's not punching me today. That's not happening. But we could set it up to where he punches you, and then you'd be able.
Sam,
to
you want to see him get punched, right? Yeah.
I'm with the punching.
See,
I'm with the punching.
That's where you two are probably in agreement with our viewers. They all want to see me get punched too. So there's that. All right. So Brandon. It is awesome to have you here, not only to catch up, just having to be able to spend some time with you, but I'd love to hear a little bit about what compels you to continue fighting, because you're going to be punching some people in the face, but you will also take some lumps. You take some punches.
A few lumps.
Right? So what is it? What do you love about fighting, man?
It's the most honest expression of oneself, you know? You can't lie. You can't lie in a cage. You can't just show... like, oh, I train, you know, blah, 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 and I'm going to go out and compete. No, this is the most honest form of, aggression, all emotional content displayed, all in 6, maybe 25, 15 minutes, you know? And honestly, it just makes me want to be even better because I know who I am as a person, and I want to give out more of that, you know? Fighting, it's just me. It makes sense to me. It's not like I'm trying to be mean or like malicious to somebody, but it makes all the sense in the world, especially when I go in there. It's like home. It's just like home. That's all.
Make sure you're talking to that mic because you're dropping some good knowledge.
I'll drop some gems today, man. I'll drop some gems.
So Don and I are both longtime fight fans. That's why I was excited to have you in, and we talked about it, and it was a no-brainer. We both love MMA. We've been watching the UFC since there weren't weight classes.
Yeah.
I remember us spending some money.
We watched UFC 1.
Yeah.
The very first one. No holds barred. What was the only thing you couldn't do? Bite
no
or
eye gouges, no fish hooks.
Yep.
There's groin strikes?
No groin strikes either.
I don't know, dude.
Can't kick to the dick, bro. No
maybe,
dick punches.
maybe not. Maybe that was it. I think it was just eye gouging and groin.
I think those were the only things.
Like, you remember the big... like sumo, back then it was like sumo wrestler, like boxer.
It was
like,
more skill sets.
Yeah,
it was the mixture of
like
skill sets before everybody had them all.
But everyone just had like one. Like the boxer went in with one boxing glove. Like he didn't like.
He didn't
Gracie
do too well.
won. Like he beat everyone up. He was the smallest guy because of jiu-jitsu. But
no
I
one
think
knew how to
jiu-jitsu.
defend shit. That's all.
But the one, remember the sumo wrestler was just like sitting on the ground, and the guy was just full-fledged, just kicking him in the face. Like,
that was Dan Severn.
Teeth flying everywhere. Like, it obviously has changed since then.
So barbaric.
Like the first time we saw it, we were like, this is insane. Like even watching it, you're like, this isn't okay. I don't think.
Yeah, it didn't have the staying power when it was more of a like a carnival event. And then around the time that Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner had that fight mainstream.
It was Ultimate Fighter that put MMA back on the map. I'm sure it's been going on forever. But even then, when you saw Ken Shamrock, big sculpted monster who knew jiu-jitsu and knew MMA, he got outclassed and he started that rivalry with Gracie.
Yep.
And that's when you were still like, this is a joke, but wait, this is real, like what this guy's doing. But then the Ultimate Fighter put it on the map, no doubt.
Who's the first MMA fighter that you were a fan of? I know your base is wrestling, but who attracted you to that sport? Because I remember you're 23 or 22?
I'm 23.
23. So I'm trying to think around 06 when it got really, really big in mainstream, you would have been what?
In 06,
You'd have been 10 years old?
About
No.
11, 12.
No, that's 13 years ago. You'd have been 10.
Been 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 10. Yeah.
Well, we all exposed ourselves for math.
Damn, we are not good. We are not good at this. 1 + 1 is 6, and 5 + 5 is 3. Bro, I'm gonna tell you like this: Rashad Evans was one of my favorite fighters at the time, and honestly, when I was watching these fights, I had no idea. Like, I had no structural foundation. I was like, oh, these dudes are just punching each other. Oh shit, this is dope. Let me just sit down and watch this. It's like Power Rangers with real blood, and this is awesome. And now more people are gonna fight, and let's keep watching. And every fight card from then on, like Melvin Gillard, he was cool.
Melvin Gillard fought like 400 times.
He fought everybody.
And he would win some, but he didn't win a lot.
He
went in and banged.
He was a big puncher.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite fighters at the time was Andre Arlovsky. Like, he was the leanest, hairiest.
He still fights,
dude.
doesn't he?
Still fights.
Yeah, and he had
like the Dracula
fangs.
wolf,
Yeah. And I was so enthralled by that. Like, I was enthused. I was like, yo, this dude's a beast, bro. Let's go watch this all day. Fantastic. Like, that's what kind of caught my attention, you know? But I just never knew what type of sport I wanted to be in. I just knew I was a fan at that point, you know?
Yeah.
And then going forward, it's just, I keep watching. I start seeing more of these guys like Rich Franklin and stuff like that. Anderson Silva when he first popped out on the scene. And Chris? I think it was Chris Lieben.
He beat Chris Lieben and without getting hit, and then he beat Franklin twice.
He pretty much beat everybody without getting hit.
Right.
Until he snapped his leg in half.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like you watch The Matrix and stuff like that, and you're like, dude, he's doing stuff like this? What? Forrest Griffin just and made him look stupid.
Yeah.
I was so just into it. I couldn't even believe that. Like, it's one of those things that you just lose sight of. You're like, damn, this and that, this and the third, and like you aspire to be like those guys, you know, like these gladiators, these apex warriors that just go out and just battle it out and see who's the best, who's the top dog, and guys are getting belts left and right, and like that was the time. It was just, for me at that moment in time, my mindset wasn't geared toward like, oh, I'm gonna go fight people. No, just casual watching, bro. Just casual watching. I was playing too many sports. I was playing baseball. The only black kid playing baseball.
I didn't remember that you played baseball.
I love
6
baseball.
years. 6 years.
Were you good?
I bunted the ball. My coach would never let me hit the ball. He would always let me bunt. He would always let me like think and just okay.
Brandon,
and I'd make it to second base before everybody else.
You can't be built like you are, probably bench pressing over 300 pounds, bunting the baseball. You should have stopped. You should have been doing extra wrestling practice.
I should have.
Bunting the baseball.
Every day.
You got to go back and talk to that coach.
Did you like baseball?
I liked it because my friends were on the team.
You know why baseball is better in high school and in college, but probably even pro. Well, once you get pros, you're a pro. Girls like baseball players.
There's no question.
I don't know that they're really
it's
digging
actually
the
not
wrestlers.
even fair. You know what? Wrestling is a whole different breed.
It's a
of people,
different
man.
breed. It's all dirty.
Those who like
sweaty,
them, love them.
starving yourself,
right? But those who don't understand,
Right.
they don't understand.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this.
What's up?
So wrestling is the sport that gave you your base and led you towards mixed martial arts along with that fandom. And you got off to a pretty late start, right? Because it's a sport where kids sometimes do it from the time they're 5. They excel through it. But you made up for a lot of it with a lot of natural athleticism.
You'd be surprised, actually. I went to Nichols School Elementary, and they actually had a wrestling program. And it was Matt Morelli.
Yep.
The art teacher in Massix, like one of the referees.
I remember Matt.
And he was running those programs, and I'd show up once in a while, know a little something. And then I think like 2 summers later, I went to a summer camp and I met Jordan.
Yep.
And he was my camp counselor, and then he put me on. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. I might go wrestle, But I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm gonna be the best football player, blah blah blah, da da da. And yeah, you're right. I feel like I got that late start, but I knew I was just committed to something. In my mind, I wasn't a half-asser. I wasn't just gonna show up and be like, oh, I made it to practice. Oh, no. I came, and I wanted to be the best. I came out there to show my heart, and I gave my heart to my team and my coaches. I was just dedicated. That was really it. And if you were gonna beat me, it was gonna be work. That was all it was gonna take. But wrestling, I had the shittiest cardio. I'd go hard in the paint for maybe a minute and 30 seconds, and that last 30 seconds is inhaler break. I need a medical break right quick, and then go into the next period and try to go hard as hell again, and then let me get a breather.
I think Sam might need your inhaler right now. He's dying over there.
You not even having any compassion. We don't even turn to him. No, Sam, you need water, brother? You got some water?
Hey, man, hold it down with that cup of noodles, too.
So, I obviously watched you to great success. That I think between junior and senior year, probably 60 some odd wins, maybe a couple of losses here and there.
Man, I had in between my junior year was my best year. I had 5 losses. Yeah. My senior year I had 7, and there's 1 disqualification, and that's part of my 7 losses, and I fucking hate Norwalk for that. Yeah, that broke my heart, but still love you, Norwalk. But all intents and purposes, I felt like I was on top of the world my junior and senior year. I was number 5 in the state. I was ready to work. But the coaching staff, you know what I'm saying?
I was on that coaching staff, man.
No, I was whooping your ass. That's what I'm saying. That coaching staff, man.
That simply is not true. Here's a follow-up question that I wanted to ask you, though.
Please.
So, what did you get from the sport that you now use? Not just in your chosen path of trying to fight, but just in general, what did you get from the sport?
Well, I developed a really strong mentality for having a great work ethic, and being diligent about anything I do and not quitting on myself. So I realized this sport just gave me a lot of confidence in being the man I need to be and just going forward with my life and just pursuing things to the fullest with absolute aggression, not aggression, but just being aggressive toward my goals and going forward and just taking what I need from myself, And I learned a lot from this sport. You're going to have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and you got to make sure you're able to mentally deal with these. I mean, I remember crying in shower locker rooms and stuff like that because I lost a match. I remember sitting by myself because I didn't think I was good enough, and I got to come back from that. So I came back from trenches many times, and I'm thinking to myself, where do I go from here? And now I carry that same mentality in my life. So when shit gets hard and shit hits the fan, I'm always ready. I'm prepared. I have a plan in mind. I'm ready to think of something to either adapt or overcome to, And I'm not going to submit myself to anything for that. So I've been busting my ass trying to get to where I needed to get to, and wrestling has put me in the forefront to do that and becoming a better man. So instead of being just a childish dude,
Nice.
I'm still a little childish.
We all are.
You have to be. You have to be.
Especially when we spread them lies about women.
So,
Please.
I'm assuming you were one of, if not the best wrestler on your wrestling team?
I was a 2-time captain.
Right.
And
so
I feel like I was the best wrestler on that team.
Right. So every day when
Mikey. I love you, Mikey.
So every day when you went in, you were you knew that you were kind of top dog, I guess.
Every time.
Right. And then you go and you start training MMA, and I'm sure that you go into a gym and you're probably fuck.
There's a story for that.
Right? What's that like? Because do you walk in there I was a dominant wrestler, I guess, or whatever, and have that, you're here, and then you walk in and see something like that, and you're boom,
instant humbling, right?
Instantly humbled.
Well, first off,
or you go in cocky and then get humbled.
Well, that comes with your ego,
Right.
You check your ego at the door.
Yep.
For me, growing up, from wrestling to MMA, it was different, I felt so strong in wrestling. I knew all the wrestlers in Connecticut, we were all cool and stuff like that, and you understand like, yeah, I'm a beast. I can do that. I can do this. And then you go into an MMA gym or like a Muay Thai gym or jiu-jitsu gym, and then you got these little dudes choking you out. You got these old men beating the shit out of you. You're like, man,
right. You must have been used to that, right?
Yeah, no. Not at all. But that's the thing. Like, I realized I had to really reevaluate my ego as a man, and knowing that it was just when I started training full time, I'm like, yo, okay, I'm not the best. I'm not the best, but I can be.
Right.
If I just take my time and learn this thing, you know? So I was diligent. I was just trying to be me. And I wasn't going to be nothing else but me at the time. You know, I'm smiling. I'm the hottest shit out, you know?
Right.
I'm going to do what I got to do. But every time, like, I would get beat in a position or I just get beat up on the feet, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, who are these dudes? Where the hell did you come from? And now I'm like, all right, any gym I go to, I check that ego out the door. I just keep it calm, cool, copacetic. I'm gonna show you some love. You show me some love, and we're gonna get to work. That's it.
You have to check your ego, because even like we talked about John Jones before. We'll get into that, I guess. But like, no one's really challenged him besides maybe a couple of people. Right? Gustafsson took him probably to the
Deep water.
brink. Right?
Only in the first fight.
Yeah, first time.
In the first fight. But he had him like deep into that fight. Like that was a close fight.
DC gave him a fight in the first fight too.
Definitely.
He at least gave him a fight.
Yeah, but like he wasn't as. But my point is, even if he's fighting, like when he fights some people, you're like, he's gonna just maul this person. Like he's gonna tool with them for a few minutes and then knock them out. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have your ego in check and you're not humbled, that other person's a trained professional fighter. Like they'll knock you out. Right?
In fighting, though, it's interesting. And I think in any combat sport, really, because time tells no lies and solves all riddles. And what I mean by that is that at some point, someone will beat John Jones. Just because everybody gets
time
beat
will
at
catch
some
up
times.
to you.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I was a kid, my
Old
dad...
man time's undefeated, dog.
Well, my dad used to say when I was a kid, if you've never been beat up, you don't fight enough. Right? So, like, you just haven't looked for enough fights if you've never been beat up. Someone will always come along, right?
There's always someone tougher than you. There's always someone better than you, bro.
What do you struggle with most? Like, what style do you struggle with most right now?
You trying to expose me?
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. Scrap that.
We only have two viewers.
Oh, that's
we're both right here.
But one of them's fighting him next month, probably.
But did we even like you got? I might have missed this. I'm in chill mode today. Like I had an appointment this morning. Then I went and had lunch by myself outside on the water. I went to the beach.
It's okay.
I almost didn't even come. I'm like, I might just stay at the beach.
Nice.
But I had to come. Not for him.
Appreciate
but for you.
Love you, dog.
Knew that.
My guy.
Like, so how did you? So you transitioned. Like, when did you get into MMA? Like, when did it all happen? What happened? Like, what was the?
So this was around like 2014, 2015. You know, the Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo fight. I'm working at Macy's at the mall. You know, Buffalo Wild Wings is in the mall. You know, I'm suited and booted up. I'm feeling good. My friend Zach texted me. He was like, yo, we gonna watch the fights? I was like, yeah, I'll be there, bro. I'll be there. I'll show up.
We're talking Post Mall here?
Yeah, we're talking Milford
Just
Post.
for context. We know
shout out.
Shout out. Connecticut Post.
Hey, holla at your boy.
That's right.
So I walk in that Buffalo Wild Wings, you know, I'm making a beeline.
Now,
like,
what is suited and booted?
Suited and booted, I'm looking real good. You know, I got the button down, got the tie up. I'm like what, maybe like 205 swollen. You know what I'm saying? This is back when I was like body, but I'm out there. My pants is looking good, my shoes is looking right.
So you kind of look like me.
Right.
But better. So I make it to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm talking to my friend Zach, and then this is where it gets weird. We're talking at the bar. We're like, yeah, you ready to see this fight? And this guy, I remember, Davon Zimmerman. If you're watching this, bro, how's life? It's just been crazy. I talked to him. He just got back from a fight, and he was talking with Zach, and I was like, yo. I'm like, oh, you fight? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's not for everybody. And this is like word for word. He's like, it's not for everybody. I was like, oh, word. And he's like, yo, I wrestled. He's like, oh, word. I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, let's link up then. Let's link up. What's your Facebook? He gets my Facebook information. And he's like, all right, man, I'll let you know. I'll tell you about some people, and we'll get you started. And I don't think he thought I was serious. So my intention was, all right, let's watch this Conor McGregor joint. Everybody went batshit crazy when that man went, when Jose
13 seconds.
Damn. Like a bag of nickels, you know what I'm saying? On the floor. Boop, boop, done. Next day, I hit him up. What type of gloves do I need to buy? 16 ounce, bet. What type of shin guards I need to get? What type of cup I need to get? I'm on it. I'll buy it all. Bought it. And that same day, went to that gym, and I met the team that started my striking base, and I was adamant. I was ready to go. He was training at the Renzo Gracie School, and the coach at the time, the Muay Thai coach, was Mohammed Lemjardine, and he was at the It was like some performance like school in Milford, you know. It was almost near Quarry Road or something like that. But yeah, he was just this nice Moroccan dude, you know, and he was training all these guys like Alex, Angelo, Tim, Phoenix, who's also fighting on the same card. Kenny Champions, he's fighting on the same card. October 19th, I'll be fighting on, and yeah, from there it's just like 3-4 years ago. That's how it started, and that's how it built up. From that day on, I just knew what I wanted to do.
Is he still fighting?
Who?
You said Davon Zimmerman?
I don't think he's still fighting.
No. Okay.
Nah, I haven't seen no recent activity from
Well, it's
him.
not for everybody.
It's not. You feel me?
That's a good example, that fight. Jose Aldo was unbeatable.
Somebody always gets beat.
Unbeatable. But leading up to that fight, you can tell he wasn't going to win. McGregor was mentally
in his head.
He was
yes.
done.
But he was hungry. But Conor was hungry. Conor was hungry.
Oh, he was hungry.
There's a difference when you're hungry for the shit instead of just trying to.
When it's hungry and then a money grab.
It's always, if given the choice, you'd always be in the position to want to have to storm the castle than protect it.
But what
Right? One is an act of aggression. One is an act of survival.
Damn right.
And that's the big thing there, because he probably got him so angry. He's like, I'm gonna come at you and smash your face in, and he just backed up and counterpunched him.
That counter punch was insane. Like the placement of it, the timing of it. McGregor's timing is
people are hating on him.
Yeah.
People are hating on him. I love the guy. I mean, he's done. I mean, he stopped wanting to be a fighter.
I figure when you make that much money,
and then started to just
you're
make
doing
money.
your thing, man.
But he's smart. He's a businessman.
He's the best.
He's like, why would I stand in here and get beat up or fight like 3-4 times a year and go through these crazy camps when I could just do one or two things, and I'm making millions and millions. At one point he's like, you're gonna give me part of your company. And
not only that, but make a publicity stunt and then wild out to create a fight down the line.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? These are things.
It's apparently not an act because he's punching old people in bars still. Like the dude is, he's a little off the.
Well,
off the rocker.
You got to be a little off the rocker.
You got to be a little off
fighting.
the rocker.
He's
in
AB. He's in AB era right now.
He's
Antonio Brown's flew off the rocker.
He's the best talker of all time, though, man.
He's lost.
He might be the best talker of all time. He has the best line, and I think it was against Jeremy Stevens. Not against Jeremy Stevens. They were all on a panel.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I know that one.
Yeah. Who the fuck is that guy? It was the most amazing comeback. Like, I still don't think that guy's recovered. I think that's what poked him in the eye last week.
That is definitely what poked him in the eye.
That guy gets in and bangs.
Yeah,
I like those fighters like that.
Who the fuck is that guy was the greatest line of all time.
Yeah, I mean, you go back. Chael Sonnen started that. Like,
the American Gangster was a
he
beast.
Was the first.
Nobody talked like he did. He promoted it.
His persona was bigger than his skill set, though. McGregor was the first person to have the skill set.
No, I agree.
But
don't forget, Sonnen.
Tyson.
Sonnen was beaten. Sonnen was beaten.
No. If we're gonna jump into the realm of boxing, there's
Muhammad Ali. It's Muhammad
Ali who started it.
Exactly.
But Sonnen was he had Silva beat.
It was at a time where the sport needed to grow. Mm-hmm. And so I think Chael Sonnen is like key to the growth of the sport.
Absolutely,
because of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't tell the story without talking.
He put asses in the seats.
He did.
That is true.
Maybe we ought to get him for our podcast.
No, but he still does put asses in the seats.
He still does.
So I mean,
but
to this day,
he's always that's someone who probably has a lot of respect for the sport because he's always come up short.
In many ways, DC is still that story. Even though he was a two division champ, and did amazing things in the sport, anybody who was alive to watch it knows that he never beat Jones.
No, and he'll never get that respect.
Never get that back.
Never.
And I love DC.
But he just lost to Stipe.
And he lost to Stipe.
And he's going
he was dominating that fight.
But he's going for a trilogy now.
Yeah.
And Stipe's a bad motherfucker.
Yes, he is.
He got off his game plan. You said it. My coaches taught me my whole camp to do one thing, and I didn't listen, and I got knocked out.
Yeah, he takes those losses hard. I feel like I take them hard for him because he like cries and shit after. Like he takes them hard, so I feel bad for him.
That's just that mentality, bro. You put so much into it, blood, sweat, and tears.
I can't imagine.
Your life. It's your lifeline. You gotta feed your kids.
I think whatever you do for a living, when you meet great disappointment, it's gonna impact you in a deep way. And when you do it in front of a national or a globally televised audience, it's got to be that much harder. My biggest mistakes are usually in front of like 4 or 5 other people, so it's not that big of a deal.
It's all good though.
We're gonna go to a speed round in a couple of minutes, man. But you got a fight coming up. Tell us about it. What are the details of this fight?
So I'm getting matched up right now. Currently, Karen, please get my shit matched up before I punch a hole through someone's face. I need my fights.
Well, you need to get matched up and then punch a hole through someone's face.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
But if not, I'll just go to training.
Okay.
But right now, October 19th for Premier FC, I'll be fighting at the MassMutual Center. At 155, going down a weight class. I'm very confident. I had a little nice training camp at Jackson Wink. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all. I'm ready, man. I've taken some time off from competing. I've did a lot of kickboxing and stuff like that, and I've just been refocusing and re-strategizing myself to get to the place where I needed to be. You know, if I've had 2 fights in MMA, and I'm chilling out right now. I'm 1-1. And I've grown so much from that time. My IQ has grown, my mentality's changed, and the way I approach the fight game is completely different. So I'm in it to win it, and you're gonna see some fireworks. Come October 19th. It's going to be crazy. I promise you a first round finish.
All right, October 19th, MassMutual Center. What time?
Probably doors open up at like 6, you know.
All right.
And
you won't know where you are on the card yet. Is that Springfield?
That is Springfield.
Springfield, right?
So it's right next to the casino.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you want
Don and I are going to make a night out of it. You want to go with me?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the casino, but I'll go.
Okay, yeah, I heard. Not a big fan.
Not a big fan of losing money?
No, well,
Yeah.
nope. No one's a big fan of losing money.
He built one of those towers at Fox, not Foxwoods, Mohegan.
Real quick, just walk us through, and you don't have to get into a lot of detail, but one, you should talk about the where you train, because that's probably the most popular, I guess, training.
Thought of as the best.
Mm-hmm. There's obviously some of the best in the world, probably the best in the world that train there. Yes, so seeing that, like, we'll let you talk on that. And then also, what's it like? Like, it's not like you have a fight in October and you're just going to show up and fight. Like, this is months of grueling.
Oh, man.
Like, so talk about that, because there's people that just are like, oh, these guys are in such great shape. They just get in here and just fight.
Listen, man, people get like 12-week, 11-week fight camps because they come in off the couch. They're out of shape, so they got to do like 3 to 5 weeks. 3 to 4 or 5 weeks or whatever to get in shape. And
except Donald Cerrone. That dude will fight like every other week.
You give him half an hour notice.
He just doesn't stop training.
Yeah.
Never.
But the idea for me was, let's start with Connecticut first, you know? The transition from, I forgot the facility that it was, but we made it to West Haven, and Mohammed Lemjadim had a great gym. He still has a great gym on Forest Road, Golden Falcon Gym. And that's where I really got my my main striking base from. And I was, mind you, I felt like I was just naturally a good fighter, just off the strength of just me being me. And no, that's not the case. And then I learned more from Muhammad. I learned more from my teammates, and I started growing. I started getting better, and I was just always willing to just do more. You know, I was willing to accept the cost it took to be a better fighter, to be to try to be a champion, to become a champion. You know. And getting all this in, it was time. It just took some time, and I had to just refocus and reevaluate myself every other day. So, like, if I learned something new, apply it. Now use it. Now teach it. Now learn it again. And we just do it over and over and over and over. And drill. Drillers make killers, like, you know? And that was the move. And then there came to a point where I felt like I hit a plateau, you know? In my training, and also with my teammates, I felt like I hit a plateau. I feel like I wasn't being supported the way I was being, like, I wanted to be supported, you know? Like, the way I support my teammates, I felt like I wasn't getting that. So I stopped training for a little bit. We had a disagreement, or whatever you want to call it. I felt like I needed to move away. So I had an accident, I had a car accident, flipped my car over, came out unscathed, and I decided, let's look for a gym. So I looked at Big Bear, I looked at Jackson Wink, I looked at AKA, and I just said, fuck it, let's go to the best gym in the world, Jackson Wink Academy, and I never looked back. That was last year, 2018, around like, I want to say the summer, like around May, and I put my whole heart into that. One of my mentors always told me, first time for practice, second time for credit, and I believe that to this day. So my first time there was just to learn as much as I possibly could, experience as much as I could, a different variety of fighter. How do I compare to out-of-state fighters? How do I compare to people from the West Coast, from Texas, down south, and even just up north, or from just national fighters, just everywhere and worldwide. So like I'm talking roommates from like Kazakhstan, Dagestan, Italy, Rome, Lithuania. Ignis, if you're watching this, I'm gonna send you the link, son. I love you. I miss you. But these are things.
Shout out to Ignis.
That's the homie. That's the real. He really put me on the map with some striking. But I'm just gonna say it like this. Once I got to that place, when I got to Jackson Wink, the first time, it was a big learning experience. I'm not the same fighter I was that last year. I wasn't the same fighter I was from this May till now. And you just got to understand, like, this is a sacrifice of your body. Like, I woke up feeling like an old man some days. Like, I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't turn my back. I caught nerve damage, actually. And I had to rebuild my whole shoulder. And that was from the first time at Jackson Wink. So now I feel really good. I feel strong. I've rehabilitated myself. My body's healthy again. And these are the things that we go through. Like, we get kinked up, we get broken up, and we still come through. We still got to come out here and perform as we do. This is something we signed on for, but it's something that we love. It's something that we just don't want to lose sight of. But the training camps were tough. The practices were hard. And the knowledge was the biggest thing. There was so much of it. Everybody had something that you can learn from. You can feed off of anybody. And it was just, I need that. I like what you're doing there. Let me learn that.
Well, I would actually say, having had the experience of being your coach early on when you were still wrestling, one of the things that I always admired about the way you learn was that you would take insight, input, and techniques from anybody, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if it didn't have to be somebody that you felt like was the best person in the room, if they had something you could put into the toolkit, I felt like you were always good to take it. Let's switch it up.
Let's go.
All right, now it's time to move away from the fighting, although we'll have some fun with some of that as a topic.
Let's get into it.
And we're going to go into a little rapid speed round. And Don, you are invited to be in this as well, because I want to get your perspective.
Why wouldn't I be allowed to be in it? Well, what's that?
I'm asking the questions. I just want to make sure you're in it. I want you to mentally be prepared to answer these questions.
Stay involved now. Stay involved.
That's all. You said you didn't want to come today.
I didn't say I didn't want to come. I said I absolutely wanted to come. Not for you.
For me.
See, every week he's got to have something to say mean to me right here on the air. It's not right.
The beach seemed like a better option.
All right, ready? Here we go.
I agree.
This is not an agree or a disagree. I just want to get your perspective.
Yes, sir.
Top 5 rappers of all time.
Top 5 rappers of all time. Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Tupac. That's 4 right there, right? And I'm going to put Jadakiss. Okay.
All right. I neither agree nor disagree. Don, top 5.
Definitely Tupac. Definitely Biggie. Dr. Dre.
Ghost Riders.
No. Eminem. I don't know any new rappers, so I can't put any new ones in there.
See, now they're
going to be all old school.
You might have to go to the East Coast with this one, brother. I'm telling you.
I guess Nas. He's legit.
Amazing.
All right. I don't disagree with either of you. I'm going to go with my top 5, and I may not answer every question, but I'll answer this one. Goes Biggie, Tupac, Jay.
Yeah.
J. Cole. I really like J. Cole. I don't know if you agree.
See, top 5 is tough because Jay-Z
like.
Needs to be in there. Like, top
Jay-Z.
5 is tough.
But are we talking
Eminem.
top 5 DOA?
I'm not talking about dead or alive. I'm just talking about in general. Even animal. I'm talking. For me, it's lyricists. So we don't have to debate on it. We probably never agree. But I put Eminem in my top 5 too. It's not really in that order, but those are my top 5.
I hear you. Mine wasn't in order either.
All right, Don. Top 3 movies of all time.
So this one's hard to answer because you have to go by genre. You can't just say the top 3 movies of all time because there's too many.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna go Outsiders, which you guys already laughed at me, but I don't really care.
I feel like it speaks to you're good to stay gold.
And stay golden, Pony Boy. Shawshank.
Greatest.
See, it's tough because there's so many good movies.
There's a lot of good movies.
I love comedies.
It's the first one that comes to your mind.
These new age comedies are like up there for me, like old school and Wedding Crashers. Hangover.
Mm-hmm. You got to
remove comedy as a drama.
You resemble Bradley Cooper, by the way. You resemble Bradley Cooper.
People say this.
I know they do.
Nobody says it to me, but they say it to him.
I'm gonna go.
I can see it.
Probably Braveheart.
That's a good call. Okay. Top 3.
All right. Number 1, immediately is Pulp Fiction. Can't go wrong.
Say what again?
Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one goddamn time. It's perfect.
I shouldn't have gotten him started. Go ahead. Number 2.
Reservoir Dogs. I'm a very Quentin Tarantino West man.
Tarantino guy. Okay.
Yeah. And then my last one, damn son.
See, it's hard. You got to do genres.
Damn son. All right. The Breakfast Club.
See, okay. Great movie.
And you can't beat that.
For me, this is easy, right? It goes Shawshank, Goodfellas, Godfather.
See, Goodfellas should have been in my top 3.
That's it, right? And everything else is after those for me.
What about Sam? We're leaving him out on these.
Sam, do you need to go genre or can you?
No, we want to hear his rappers and we want to hear the movies.
I got 3. My top 3 tattooed on me. So it's The Shining.
So you know he's not lying.
Psycho and King Kong. Hey, respect it.
Sam has his top 3 movies tattooed on him. Are you that committed?
Absolutely.
Are you that committed?
Yeah, they're in places you can't see.
I don't want to see him.
That is a tasty burger. Wash that down.
It's his favorite.
Tasty soda.
Sam, do you want to weigh in on rappers?
Beverage?
May I wash this burger down with this beverage?
I'm going to be your top 5, and I'm going to swap out Jadakiss for Method Man.
Method Man? Okay.
See, Method Man's sick.
I respect it.
I love Method Man.
It's top 5s and anything are hard because you immediately want to stretch it to a top 10. But life is about choices. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. If any, you have no limitation on choice. Any celebrity you could beat up, who do you start with?
Who do I start with? Damn.
Who do you beat up first?
A celebrity to beat up? That's
any
the question
celebrity
you came up
that
with?
you could beat. He's a fighter. I want to go with a fighting theme.
I don't even want to beat
He
up.
doesn't want to beat up a celebrity.
That you could beat up, who would you beat up?
Any celebrity? Gilbert Godfrey.
Okay. I respect that.
I don't know why. I
don't know what he did to you, but I respect
nothing. It's just his face, dog.
You can't beat him. You would feel bad.
No, I wouldn't.
Nah,
I don't have feelings like
he
that.
Wouldn't. He wouldn't. Not for Gilbert.
Would you? I don't even like his voice.
There's a celebrity you don't like.
Who?
There's got to be one.
I never looked at a celebrity and was like, I want to punch that person.
Well, we got to work on that.
There's a few.
There's got to be one. One that really annoys you.
I got to pass, and I'm going to answer it later.
Justin Bieber's my answer. I'll give Justin Bieber
I love Justin
ass
Bieber.
Whooping, even though he's got some nice songs.
I just give that boy to work.
Sam? I have no idea. Sam also loves celebrities. Okay?
You hate Justin Bieber?
I just feel
You're a hater.
I feel like all right. So we're gonna go speed round on tougher. You cannot say it's a draw. You must make a choice. William Wallace versus Maximus.
William Wallace.
William Wallace.
I go William Wallace.
Speech alone, William Wallace.
William Wallace is unanimous.
Bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
The man, he really truly was the toughest person maybe in any movie. And Maximus is no slouch either. He probably wins most of
Actually,
fights.
the toughest person of any, I guess, show is the Punisher. I don't know if you've watched that.
Oh, no. It's John Bernthal. Let's just get it right. John Bernthal is the toughest SOB.
Is that the name of the Punisher?
No. It's Frank Castle.
Frank Castle.
Frank Castle is the name of the Punisher. But John Bernthal is the actor for the Netflix series. And that motherfucker just plays him hard as hell.
He's scary looking.
I got to catch up. I am not in the know on this.
He just
they didn't renew it. I mean, it got
this.
to a point where you couldn't top what they were doing. It was out of control.
Savage.
For one, I prefer romantic comedies. I'm not really into all this violence. All right. Murtaugh, which is Mel Gibson's character from Lethal Weapon, versus Bruce Willis's character in Die Hard. Who wins?
Murtaugh.
Bruce Willis.
Murtaugh kicked the shit out of that wackadoodle.
It was
what
Gary Busey. Yeah.
Yeah, but Gary Busey back then was normal.
In that movie, Gary Busey knew karate.
Yeah.
I'll go Murtaugh also. All right.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Hold on. Let me get my little 2 cents in. I'm gonna just say this: bald people are scary, dog. Simple as that.
Yeah, but was he bald in that movie?
I grew my hair back.
Bruce Willis, he had a little something, but he was getting there. He had the patches.
He
you know
had
what I'm saying?
he had like the dad stuff just on the side. Bruce Willis.
And he had the Uzi.
But he was still getting it done though. That was not Westfield Mall, otherwise known as the Milford Post Mall.
Yes, indeed.
Or Connecticut Post Mall that happened at, but it can happen at any mall. Be careful.
Be safe out there, folks.
I'm going to go with one that should actually be so easy to answer that no one should even think about it for 1 second. I'll give Maximus another chance versus Dalton from Roadhouse.
Dalton.
Dalton.
No question.
Hands down.
And I feel
he ripped the dude's heart out.
He ripped the dude's Adam's apple out.
Adam's apple, whatever he ripped out.
Now Maximus, if you look at it, and this happens in all combat sports, he had a tough draw. He happened to be up against 2 legends, so that wasn't really fair.
Hey man,
right?
It is what it is.
Maximus beats anybody else on this list. But
is Dalton the toughest, or is it his mentor? Because Sam Elliott was a bad dude.
Sam Elliott does not one actual fighting move in that entire movie, but beats people's asses.
Okay, but if he goes up against Jean-Claude Van Damme from Bloodsport.
Oh, he would lose.
Exactly. He's getting
from
smoked.
Bloodsport. He would get murdered.
Dalton absolutely kicks the shit out of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What? No.
From Roadhouse? Maybe you gotta rewatch that movie.
You gotta rewatch them. You gotta rewatch Bloodsport, man.
The man took over a town as a bouncer. He was a beast. All right. Marcellus Wallace.
Yes, sir.
Versus Frank Lucas in American Gangster.
Those is both some damn gangsters. I'm getting medieval on that ass, bro. Marcellus Wallace. Damn right.
I agree.
Same. I'm gonna go Frank Lucas on this one. He was he didn't talk a lot. He was real killers move in silence is what they say.
Hey man, Marcellus Wallace almost got his cheeks clapped and then clapped them cheeks back. Okay, come on now. Take that for your notes.
He got medieval.
He did, man. And I'm hoping I'll be watching. I'm hoping to actually be like ringside when you get medieval on October 19th.
Oh, I got those tickets for you.
We're wishing you luck, man. It's good to see you.
It's a pleasure.
It's awesome to see you doing your thing.
Thank you, brother.
And thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for coming on, my man.
Thank you, brother.
We will see you next time on episode number 6.
You heard it. 6.
Roads Less Taken.
With a win under our belt.
We're going to be sponsoring a fighter. We got to get him some shorts and a t-shirt.
Dubs, baby, Dubs. What's up? Oh yeah, yo, Brandon the Muffin Man Murphy. I'm coming for anybody who wants it at 55. If you running from me, I don't care. If you want to fight, I'm here for it. I love everybody equally, but I'll beat the shit out of you the same way. Okay? Thank you.
Mic drop. Note, that's our first mic drop.
We'll see you on the next episode. Subscribe up. Roads Less Taken.
Peace.